Much more than a glue player, how Indiana Fever's Natasha Howard imposed her will versus Dream. Natasha Howard was in her own head in the first matchup against the Dream. Then she found the real version of herself the second time out. That's how the Indiana Fever's new veteran described the extreme variance in her play the past 2 games against the same opponent. She went from missing a potential game winner and 9 other shots and free throws in the fourth quarter of the season's first loss to the Dream on Tuesday to dropping 26 points and 7 rebounds as the catalyst of an 81-76 revenge win Thursday night on Atlanta's floor. "I had my teammates behind me, giving me confidence, and my coaches as well," Howard said. "Without them, I probably wouldn't have had the game that I had yesterday game." It's a simple explanation, but it produced a flip of the switch that was as palpable as it was necessary for the Fever. Because those teammates didn't have the same juice as other moments and needed Howard in the way they needed her in Tuesday's fourth quarter. But this time, she came through. 2 days after pouring in a combined 51 points in the loss to the Dream, stars Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston fell into foul trouble early on in Thursday's game and finished with just 15 total points. But they were facilitators and creators on a night when Howard found her spacing, downhill drive, and shot, all while playing a step ahead of Dream bigs Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner. "I thought she found areas to circle and 90 cut and 45 cut, where it was easy, dump down passes for her when the post helped out for her, and just finding little ways to score," Clark said. Clark and Boston are the young players compared to a veteran like Howard, who is back this season with the team that initially drafted her back in 2014. She's now 33, a 12th-year pro who has made it this far by knowing who she is and how to get it back after a dip in performance. The key has been having teammates who learn how to key that ignition within her, and that's the person the Fever are getting to know in this early stretch. As her teammate, you have to instill a lot of confidence in her, and I think that's what we did after a tougher night when we lost here, Clark said. Nobody was perfect that game. The game didn't come down to her missing free throws or not hitting the last shot. It doesn't come down to that. Everybody contributed to that. I think it's just about continuing to build her up and showing we believe in her. There was no doubt from anybody that she was going to have a great bounce-back game. As talented as Clark and Boston are as recent #1 overall picks, both can acknowledge that Howard has been to places they haven't in this league as a 3-time champion between her stints with the Lynx and Storm. Along with coach Stephanie White, who is fresh off back-to-back playoff appearances with the Sun, Howard is here to inject this young team with some playoff pedigree. Howard has been a part of those runs as more than just a background player. She's averaged double-digit points in 5 of the past 6 seasons and has topped 8 rebounds per game 4 times in that stretch. Now, she's here to fit a growing nucleus. For the 2-2-1 Fever, it's an evolving trust that took a step on Thursday night. Defensively, she's one of the best players in this league, Clark said. She makes great winning plays constantly. She gets a lot of deflections for us. She blocks shots at the rim. Offensively, there's just so many different things you can do with her. Obviously, there's the way she can shoot, and she can get downhill. She's a glue player, but at the same time, she's much more than a glue player. And the team she's gluing together has so much further it can get from here. And the next test is right in their faces, with the defending champion Liberty coming to Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Saturday. "We've got something special. We really do," Howard said. "We're only game 3 in right now. We still have a lot to learn and a lot to build. We're only scratching the surface right now."
Hey, Steph. This question is for you. I just wanted to talk about what you saw out of your team that was different from Tuesday. Obviously, it's a quick turn, but how did you feel like your adjustments paid off on the court?
I felt like our defensive energy, physicality, disruptiveness was better. We made it more difficult for them, moving the ball around the perimeter. We executed better in our ball screen defense. Felt like we had each other's back a little bit more, and we played through breakdowns, and that's what it's going to take. It wasn't perfect, but we stayed together and we grew.
Natasha, it looked like you had a concerted effort to put your game out there and show a few people what was it about. What was different for you tonight than earlier this week?
Getting out of my own head. That's the thing. I was in my own way, but thank God I had my teammates behind me to bring that confidence out of me tonight. I couldn't do without them, and also my coaches as well.
For Coach, what turned the game for you guys in the second quarter? It looked like they were stuck on 18 for a long time, and you guys got back in the game.
Well, I felt like our depth came into play there. Being able to go to our bench and bring a different defensive coverage and intensity level, and that allowed us to get out in transition. I mean, we're going to be at our best when we're in transition, and I felt like in that second quarter we were able to get out a little bit.
Yeah, just for Natasha or Lexi, how was it different playing with Sophie today after she missed the first two?
I mean, she brings a level of energy that is huge, and I think, not playing in the couple games, not getting a chance to practice fully before getting back out there, I was just really proud of her for the energy she brought. She made some big plays down the stretch, getting her hands on, getting steals and getting deflections, and we needed her tonight. So just really proud of her to be able to come out and contribute like that.
Coach, by my unofficial count, I think Lexi led the team in high fives tonight. How much does that help, just that positive attitude? And Lexi, is that something that you're conscious of doing during games?
I mean, I'm really just happy to see my teammates do well, and when they're not, trying to pick them up as much as I can. So if that's a high five, if that's, words of encouragement, however I can try to bring out the best in people and be just that positive energy, because, games go up and down, and hopefully those downs are as long as they can be. So just trying to get us out of those as quick as possible.
It's huge. I think that energy, I know a while back there was a study done, in the NBA about how important, those moments are. And, it doesn't matter if things are good, things are bad, just that little bit of encouragement, that little bit of, great stuff. We got your back. I mean, it all matters. And it's so important when it comes to team sport, because it's energy. Right, and it's positive energy. You see it all the time in body language with poor energy. This feeds your teammates, and it's so important. And Lexi does a great job of that.
Natasha, you talked about getting out of your own head. So what did you do differently, as far as maybe this morning you did a little meditation, quiet time? What did that look like?
Absolutely, meditation, prayed, got some encouragement from my wife, my teammates. That's the only way for me to get going, because we got a long season, and I don't need to be in my own head and in my own way.
Coach, you guys were able to outscore the Dreams bench 22-10. How important was it, or what can you say about the importance of the bench's contribution tonight?
It's huge, and again, our depth and our ability to play different lineups, our ability to lift one another up if we don't have it. I mean, I thought Damaris Dantas was huge for us when AB got in foul trouble, and it's easy to look at numbers, but what she brought in terms of her ability to move the ball, her defensive physicality was huge. Obviously what Lexi and Sophie bring for us, and even Sid. I mean, she hadn't played the whole game, and we throw her in there in some time and score situations. We have a team that we can go 11 deep. We talk a lot about some days it's going to be your day, some day it's not, right? We have to choose the we over the me. And we have to stay ready, so we don't have to get ready. Every single person that impacted this game in a positive way, and I'm really proud of them.
Hey, this is for all three. Both of these games this week have been single-digit, pretty competitive games. Why do you guys think you matched up so well with the Dream?
I don't feel like we match up well with them. I mean, they're tough to handle. Obviously, they've got a lot of Olympians. They're quick and skilled on the perimeter. They're big and strong and tough on the interior. They're experienced. So I feel like we have to use our versatility to combat some of that size that they have, and we have to use our depth to be able to try to wear down. They're really great guards. That's why it takes a collective effort, and the contributions that we got from our bench were huge.
That was Stephanie White, Lexi Hull, Natasha Howard after Indiana Fever win at Atlanta 81-76. Now today, Liberty versus Fever. The Liberty put up 85.6 points per game, second in the league, last season while giving up 76.5 per outing, third in the WNBA. They had a plus 366 scoring differential and outscored opponents by 9.1 points per game. The Fever averaged 85 points per game last season, third in the league, while allowing 87.7 per contest, 11th in the WNBA. They had a minus 107 scoring differential overall and were outscored by 2.7 points per game. Get down, comment what you think about today's game, who will score most point, and will win Caitlin Clark or Sabrina Ionescu. Don't forget like and subscribe. See you next one.